Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you all to the Q4 and FY23 post-earnings conference call of Jyoti Resins and Adhesives Ltd. Today from the management, we have with us Mr. Utkarsh Patel, part of the promoter group and managing director of the company. As a disclaimer, I would like to inform all of you that this call may contain forward-looking statements, and these forward-looking statements may involve risk and uncertainties. Also, this is a reminder that this call is being recorded. I would now request the management to quickly introduce themselves, post which we will run you through the presentation for the fourth quarter and then take up the flow for Q&A. Over to you, sir.
Hello, everyone. My name is Utkarsh Patel. I'm Managing Director of Jyoti Resins and Adhesives Ltd. Welcome you all.
So would you like me to run the investors through the presentation for the quarter?
Yes, Vinayji, please go through investor presentation.
Is this visible? Sir, is this visible?
Yeah, it is visible.
Yes, it is visible.
Thank you. So I'll quickly run you through the company background. Jyoti Resins and Adhesives is a manufacturer of synthetic resin adhesives, and they sell this product, which is nothing else but a white glue, under the brand name of Euro 7000, which was started in 2006. Today, Euro 7000 is the second largest selling wood adhesive in India. The company has gradually increased its capacity over several years, and today the capacity stands at 2,000 tons per month or 24,000 tons per annum. This is a quick preview about the journey that we have gone through. So like you can see, in 2006, we started the Euro 7000 brand. In 2007, we expanded our capacity to 250 tons per month. And today we are at 2000 tons per month. This is our network today. We are present in 13 states with a 300 sales force, 28 branches and 50 distributors. We service 10,000 active retailers and 3 lakh carpenters across these 13 states. This is our manufacturing facility at Santej in Ahmedabad. This is a single facility that we have where we are manufacturing 2,000 tons per month. And we have a corporate office at Ahmedabad as well. In terms of our strength and commitment, what has allowed us to grow over the last several years and get to where we are, these are some of the strengths that we have built on. So basically, high quality machines, best customer service, quick delivery, strong technical support to our carpenters, who is our user base, and high quality of raw materials and finished goods that we have been providing them over a long period of time. These are some financial highlights or key pointers that we would like to bring to your attention. So today the company has a ROE of more than 40%, ROC of more than 50%. We are the second largest brand in India, and we've consistently grown in terms of operating profits as well as net profit. We continue to be debt-free since FY18, and today our revenues have touched 262 crores. We've given a 60% dividend per share, which equates to 15.5% dividend payout for FY23. Promoters today hold 50.8% as on 31st March 2023. Mr. Jagdish Patel, the chairman, is the first generation entrepreneur who started this company in 1994. And Mr. Utkarsh Patel, managing director, who joined the company in 2005 after completing his chemical engineering and management courses in the field of marketing and international business management, and was key in building up the Euro 7000 brand. A quick pointer about our business model. So the company imports its raw material through importers from several countries, which are then processed, and the finished product is made at Santej. The products are then sold in different packaging sizes from 500 grams up to 70 kgs through a mix of distributors and consignee and sales agent in the retail market, which is primarily dealers. At a team level, we have zonal managers, area managers, sales executives, and business development executives. We also have an efficient carpenter reward model system, which is nothing else but a loyalty program for our carpenters, who get points when they purchase any drum, any bucket, or any of the packets. We've got a well-established and a customized ERP software to integrate our sales, purchases, distributor, and ordering system. In terms of competitive edge, where are we strong in? So we have a low-cost manufacturing facility. Therefore, our asset turnover today stands at 8x. Our selling and distribution expenses are controlled within 12 to 13% of revenues, while our overall manpower cost is controlled within 15 to 16% of revenues. We are present in 13 states, like we said before, through 50 distributors and 28 branches. Our product portfolio is diversified. We are catering to all the requirements of the carpenters, whether it is anti-termite, waterproof, fast drying, fungal resistance, heat resistance, weatherproof, cold and hot press applications, etc. This is a quick brief about our product categories that are there today. So like you can see, we are providing all the requirements. We are meeting all the requirements of the carpenters, as well as we are also present across all the substrates, whether it is PVC, acrylic, wood, or MDF. This is some of the digital advertisements that we've done recently, which have garnered tremendous views for us. These are some of the recent dealer meets that we have done in Q4/FY23, which saw tremendous response from carpenters. The recent one that we did was the meet in Mumbai at Sahara Star, which saw 550 dealers present from the MMR region, which includes Mumbai, Navi Mumbai, as well as Thane. This kind of shows you the loyalty program that we run with a lot of our carpenters, the kind of rewards that they get. Quickly highlighting about the performance for this quarter. You would have seen the numbers, but a quick few pointers on the performance. So our gross margin expanded to 57%, which was primarily driven by the sharp drop in the raw material prices. In terms of volume, we have grown at 27.5% for the year. For the quarter, we have grown at 8% quarter on quarter. We are currently operating at 60% capacity utilization. An important point which I wish to bring your attention to is our operating cash flow. So while the operating cash flow on paper doesn't look healthy enough, when you reconcile it for the changing in accounting policies, which are the accounting done as per Ind AS, the company has generated strong operating cash flows of 37.7 crores during FY23, as shown over here. So what you see, the change in non-current financial assets is nothing else but fixed deposit, which now have maturity above 12 months. And the change in other bank balance is nothing else but fixed deposit, which have maturity between 3 to 12 months. And as per accounting standards, FDs up to 3 months form a part of cash and cash equivalents at the end of the cash flow. So our fixed deposits plus bank balance plus cash and cash equivalents have grown 2x from 28 crores in FY22 to 58.5 crores in FY23. Our average receivables, which were quite high during COVID times at 266 days and 190 days in 2021, are now down to 109 days in FY23 versus 117 days in FY22. Another important point which I wish to bring your attention to is other financial liabilities, which are the liabilities for expenses with respect to the buyer schemes, which is nothing else but an accumulation of the carpenter reward program. This used to be 91% of revenues in FY21, came down gradually to 46% of revenues in FY22, and is now down to 32% of revenue in FY23. And we aim to take it to 25% in the coming years. Way forward, quickly, what are we looking at? So we've completed our capacity expansion. We are now setting up a warehouse for enhancing our storage of raw materials and finished goods. We are looking to expand in 1 or 2 new states, as well as increasing the penetration and width of coverage in our established as well as other states. Over the last 5 years, we have grown at a CAGR of 38% on revenue, 103% on EBITDA, 113% of PAT. We are targeting at least 25% revenue growth for the next 3 years, starting FY23. We wish to continue to stay debt-free and generate operating cash flows as well as free cash flows, and aim to reduce our liability for expenses. That's it from my side. Sir, do you wish to add anything on this?
It is perfectly okay. Thank you, Vinayji, for the good presentation. So now you can open for the Q&A, I think.
Sure, sir. Anybody else or anybody who wishes to ask a question may kindly use the option of raise hand and ask a question. Yeah, Dhruvesh, you can go ahead and ask your question.
Sir, can you please explain what you mean by reducing the liability, the point which was the last one on the last slide, reducing the future liability, something I missed the presentation and I'm just trying to open it here, but I think get it, yes.
Okay. Actually, Vinayji means liability means by that reward programs, what we have introduced since 2013-14 around. But before COVID period, that was the time that carpenters used to collect almost 2, 3, 4 years around for the higher slabs. But we have started auto redemptions program. For that way, we are going to reduce our liabilities.
So Dhruvesh, what happens is, just to further answer to that, is that whenever any carpenters are, let's say, buying 100 rupees worth of goods, right, and 10 rupees is the points accumulated on that purchase, what goes to your revenue is 90 rupees. What goes to your liability for expenses is 10 rupees. And as and when this points are redeemed, this 10 rupees gets added back to revenue, as well as it gets added to your expenses. So it is a profit neutral event, right? But because the company was smaller before in terms of turnover, and we had to give away a lot of benefits to carpenters, this liability for expenses, or in other words, provisions, used to be almost 90% of our revenues. And these are now down to 35% of our revenues.
Okay, fine. Thank you. I'll come back. I think I just had one question on that side.
Sure. We'll take the next question from Manoj.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Manojji.
First of all, big congratulations for the wonderful number, Utkarsh ji, to you and your team. I have one question. I think in one of the interview you mentioned on the TV that you are going to come with one plant somewhere in Bangalore. So what is the status on that? That is number one. And just connecting to that, you mentioned that currently we are utilizing 60% of the capacity. So does it really make sense to have another plant in Bangalore? Thank you very much. That is two questions I have.
Yes, Manojji. Right now we are utilizing our capacity almost 50 to 60%. So it will go maybe 1 or 2 years. And that is not the exact plan to that where we are making our new greenfield to South India, or maybe we are planning with the existing plant to enhance our capacity. So it will be planned after, I think, maybe 1.5 years or 2 years around. Still, we are planning to grow at least 80% of capacity, to utilize 80% of capacity.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We'll take the next question from Nesa. Nesa, you can unmute and ask the question.
Thanks for taking the question. So the first question is on the carpenter program that you mentioned. So what percentage of your revenue today, would be tied up with this program?
Nazarji, that I cannot tell you the perfect answer due to the it is a con call and it should be not mentioned because of due to the competition's informations. But I can just give you the brief. There is a different percentage the growing territory. If we are right now we are working in the mature territory, the states like Gujarat, Rajasthan, MP, जहाँ पे हम already अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं, product establish हो चुका है, acceptance product की बहुत अच्छे से आ गई है, तो वहाँ पे हमारे जो rewards program है वो कम है, और जहाँ पे हम डेवलपमेंट स्टेट्स में है, जहाँ पे हम ज्यादा ग्रो करना चाहते हैं, वहाँ पे वो मार्जिन ज्यादा है.
Understood. No, got it. What I actually meant was not what percentage you give back. More, what I meant is what percentage of the revenue actually carpenters are like, scanning and they are actually booking on the app. That way I meant.
So Nesa will not be able to give you the exact percentages that are given out to carpenters. That is, like Utkarji said, that is a bit of competitive information. No?
Okay, fine. Got it. And second question was on market share. Can you get a sense of the market share? What would be the market share in your mature markets like Gujarat, Rajasthan, and what is the market share?
If I'll give you the total brief for the pan India, so it is more than 5,000 crore market per annum. And as we are present in 13 states, and we are doing good business with this almost 75 to 80% of our revenue from our 5 states that are mature states. So that are the Gujarat, Rajasthan, MP, Maharashtra, and Karnataka. And remaining 20 to 25% we are doing that 7 states, other states. So if I can give you the brief, Gujarat is our very well-developed, mature state. So we are doing almost 30-35% market shares in Gujarat.
Got it. Got it. And overall, in your mature markets put together, any sense what would be the market share in all 5 put together?
It's very state-wise. As I told that in Gujarat, we are gaining 30-35% market share. In Rajasthan, that is ratio around is 30%. And for the Maharashtra, we are 20% around. Karnataka, we are 15 to 20% around. So it's still there is a huge gap between the first player and the second player, as you know. So there are we are very optimistic to cover this market and do the more penetration with these markets.
Oh, got it, sir. And one last question on Gujarat and Rajasthan, right, where you are doing well, 30-35%. What versus the leader, like what do you think has enabled you to penetrate into that 30%? Is it that carpenter network that has worked, or in your view, is there a lower pricing that helps in those markets? What do you think has enabled you to get there versus competition, which is obviously much larger?
I believe what we have achieved since 16 years, that is, I mainly point out these 2 reasons. That is, first one is focus, and the second one is culture. My belief system is if we focus in particular segment, particular product, and particular area, that is definitely give the good result. Then rather than we diversify our focus. And not only the carpenter scheme or discounts or credit systems works together, but it is all about the quality first, the service what we are offering to our retailers, our carpenters. So there are so many points that we have achieved this journey this 16 years. That is not the only discount systems that works.
Understood. No, that's important. And maybe if I could squeeze in the one last one for next year, any for maybe 1 year or 3 years out, what kind of revenue growth and what kind of margins are you looking at?
We are planning to grow with 25% of growth, volume base, and margin we are comfortable with 22 to 23% of EBITDA margin.
Got it. Thank you so much. Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nisa. We'll take the next question from Mustafa. Looks like a line got disconnected. We'll take the next question from Manoj.
Hello,
Kumar.
am I audible?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. I think I was on mute. So I had just few questions, like what extent of our raw material costs are like linked to crude prices? Is this one of the reasons why we are getting this high level of margins? That would be first.
Actually, our raw materials are not the derivatives of the crude directly, but yes, that affects the international market and the dollar price also. But due to this COVID and this transportations and all the things, the VAM price, the chemical raw material prices were very high last 1.5 year, 2 years. So at that time we played with the margins also. But right now the raw material prices have come down very sharply. So yes, that is the one of the reason that we are gaining good margin. And also the second reason is that we have now established, as I told, our 5 mature states. What we are the product are very acceptable in the markets. Now we have the repeat customers, the Euro fan customers, carpenters. So there are the margins because of that also.
Thanks, Utkarsh. One question which I had was regarding the sequential growth, like on quarter. I see that your sales has declined, a little decline on the sales. At the same time, you have pointed in the presentation that the volume has increased. In the earlier presentation, you were talking about that there was a 55 to 60% capacity utilization. Now we are talking about 60. And so does this mean that the realization has declined? And even on top of that, we still are seeing some abnormal margins, which if I could say this. So what is happening here? If you could just quantify this for us, that would be great.
Sure. Vinayji, can you please answer this question? So it will be more clear.
Sure. So we say that 8% is our volume growth for the quarter on quarter. And what happens is, what I also explained initially, is that whenever there are points getting created, right, it gets minused from your revenue. And whenever there are points getting redeemed, it gets added back to your revenue. So the revenue that you actually see is the net of this point redemption versus point creation, right? But if you were to look on an absolute growth, we have grown on an absolute basis at 8% quarter on quarter. And if we talk about YOY, it would be almost 20%.
Okay, thanks.
So
and
because
yeah, go ahead.
Because of the lower redemption in March, Vinayji, I think that is also a fact that.
Correct. So there were lower redemptions.
So what happens?
So effectively, there's lesser amount going to the other expenditure. Right. That is why your margin looks inflated a bit. So realistically,
because the carpenters are migrate to their native places in March and Holi duration. So all the UP and Rajasthan carpenters went out to their native place. So there are some less redemption at that time.
Okay, got it. And one last question is about this inventory days, and mostly on the inventory days and receivable side. So we are talking about building up a warehouse factory. How this would help us gain momentum on the cash flow front, especially on maintaining inventories or maintaining our receivables, because I see a large part of our balance sheet at the moment is stuck in the TRs. And what are the steps which the management is looking for or thinking about to get this part of get this sorted in the upcoming quarters?
Sure. Vinayji, please go ahead for this question.
Maluj, do you want to answer this? Malu is their financial advisor. Sunil Malu.
Yes, sir. So as you have rightly pointed out that the inventory days and the debtors days. So debtors date at present, as Vinayji stated in the presentation, stands around 107 days of the turnover.
Yeah, right.
And we are, as regarding our point of inventory, company is capable of having improving the inventory days because of the high liquidity and high cash flow available with the company. If you see the balance sheet and financial of the company, we are having 58 crore of liquid funds parked in the FDs and all that. So if the company procures some big warehouse and all that, so we would be able to store and have more level of inventory. So company is having sufficient cash flow, sufficient liquidity to cover both the points of inventory as well as debtors. And despite high debtors days, still our current ratio is above the benchmark of 1.33. So liquidity position of the company is quite better despite giving high days to the customers. And this scheme of the and this strategy of the company resulting into the higher revenue quarter by quarter.
So Mustafa, just to kind of summarize, like we said in our presentation, our debtors have come down drastically, right, as our revenues have grown. So our working capital has only gotten more efficient over the last 3 years.
Okay, got it. Thanks. Thanks for answering and good luck for the future.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll take the next question from Manoj Kumar, Natholia.
जी, मेरे पास दो चीजें हैं बोलने को. पहला तो first thing which while I appreciated the wonderful job that you and your team has done, I'm a bit disappointed the kind of error that we made by reporting this result for the Q4 of FY23. I know the company like ours is not expected to make such error, but nevertheless that has disappointed me. So I thought that I must express my feeling. That is one thing.
No, you are very right, Manojji, and I agree with that. But unfortunately, that happened. But I'm assure you that will not happen again. And we are moving with good auditors and good advisors around us. So that will give more impact in future for that.
Because the market,
I assure you.
I appreciate it, Kushi. We investors look at the different way when there's such kind of error happens. It shakes our confidence in the organization. Nevertheless, I thought that I must express, so I'm doing that with the best of regard and respect. My second point here is, as we
Manoj ji, एक चीज मैं थोड़ी clarify करना चाहूंगा. You are very right as an investor point of view. लेकिन एक चीज मैं आपको बताऊं ना तो पूरा focus 16 years धंधे पे किया है, business बनाने पे किया है, तो ज्यादा focus customers और employee पे ज्यादा है. But आगे से भी investor का भी ख्याल रखेंगे और definitely we'll have the good people around us with these financials and all the things. I assure you that.
Thank you very much. Utkarsh ji, मैं आपसे personally मिला हुआ हूँ AGM में. I know you personally. So I'm sure that when you make this statement, you will certainly make sure that is going to happen. Two things as we grow. Today when we said that we have at number 2, and the gap between number 1 and number 2 in the product category, or this let us talk to our number 1 competitor. Between both of us, the gap in the market cap is huge. I think that we have huge potential to bridge the gap. So I feel somewhere we have to be more aggressive. I'm not saying that we are not aggressive, but if we have to, the number 2 is just 2% or 3% of the market cap of the competitor doesn't set well tuned. At least we should target to be at least 10% of that what they have. Our competitor I'm referring to. I don't want to name them. So somewhere I think that we have capacity, we have enough cash, liquidity, so we have to go aggressively in the market. When I say aggressively, that means we have just presence in 13 states so far. The entire nation is available for us. I don't know why we are going so slow. This is my only one thing. The last point, when you said that we are going to target another 2 states very shortly, so which would be these 2 states? And now you can answer all my point. Thank you very much, Utkarsh, once again.
Sure, Manoj ji. One चीज मैं clarify करना चाहूंगा. As you are saying that we are so slow, मैं थोड़ा correct करना चाहूंगा. अगर जर्नी देखने जाए तो पीडी लाइट का भी आज 65 years की उनकी जर्नी है. So it's a very tough market to penetrate and to cover this network. Definitely, they have built a very good, strong network around that. But as you see, we are growing with the 35% of CAGR and volume growth also. So yes, of course, we are planning to penetrate more with the 7 states, and you will see a good top line within the next 3 years, definitely.
So, sir, which are going to be 2 states where we are targeting to enter into being the new state?
There are few states that are remaining to cover. In the South India, if I talk about the Chennai is there, Kerala is there. If we'll go for the north, the UP is there, Delhi is there. But when we get the good channel partner around this network, we'll definitely go for the new states.
Thank you,
But
Utkarsh.
right now we are focusing more with these existing 30 states to penetrate more and establish more.
Thank you. Wish you all the best, Utkarsh.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll take the next question from Agastya. Agastya, you can go ahead and ask a question.
थैंक यू विनय भाई, थैंक यू उत्कर्ष जी। उत्कर्ष जी, जो मनोज जी ने अभी बोला, मैं भी उससे सहमति रखता हूँ। आपने बोल दिया है, लेकिन फिर भी ये बोलना जरूरी है कि आप इंश्योर कीजिएगा कि ऐसी एरर्स आगे फ्यूचर में ना हो। रिजल्ट अच्छा था, लेकिन इतना कंफ्यूजन है नंबर्स को लेकर कि थोड़ा सा अगर अवॉइड करें हम तो अच्छा रहेगा। उत्कर्ष जी, क्लियरली क्वार्टर बहुत अच्छा था। जब सारे एडजस्टमेंट्स जो प्रेजेंटेशन में आप लोगों ने डाले हैं, अगर वो एडजस्टमेंट्स को कंसिडर किया जाए तो वॉल्यूम ग्रोथ भी अच्छी थी एंड मार्जिन्स भी बहुत अच्छा है। तो एक क्वेश्चन मुझे आपसे ये था कि रॉ मटेरियल प्राइसेस इतने ज्यादा गिर गए हैं, तो उसमें जो मार्केट लीडर है उन्होंने क्या प्राइस कट्स एग्रेसिवली लेना स्टार्ट किया है, या जो बहुत ही छोटे प्लेयर्स हैं उन्होंने प्राइस कट्स लेना स्टार्ट किया है? आपका प्रोडक्ट प्राइसिंग डिफरेंट मार्केट्स में आपको अभी क्या दिख रहा है ग्राउंड पे, और आप उसको फॉलो कितने हद तक कर रहे हैं और कितने हद तक नहीं कर रहे हैं?
Pidilite has not reduced the price, but they have started to give to pass on the good margins to dealers, of course, because the gap is very good. And yes, of course, we have also started. And see, in my strategy, my view, we are never going to lose our customers in any way. ये कभी मेरा स्ट्रेटेजी आगे भी नहीं रहा था और कभी भी नहीं रहेगा कि जहाँ पे मैं सिर्फ मार्जिन को पकड़ के बात करूँ या कोई नेट प्रॉफिट या पैट की बात करूँ. डेफिनेटली कस्टमर्स फर्स्ट. सो वी आर टोटली फोकस्ड विद दिस ऑल द टेरिटरीज, ऑल द मूवमेंट्स विद दैट, एंड डेफिनेटली विल ग्रो विद द गुड रेवेन्यू आगे भी. तो हम ज्यादा पेनिट्रेट भी करेंगे और कस्टमर्स का पूरा डिलाइटनेस एंड सेटिस्फेक्शन के साथ ही चलेंगे. तो जहाँ पे हमको लगेगा और हम भी एक around 2-3% of margin we are also passing to the customers right now in a Q1.
अच्छा, अच्छा। और उत्कर्ष जी, ये जो प्राइस लेवल अभी आपको रॉ मटेरियल का है, ये प्री कोविड लेवल पहुंच गया या अभी भी उससे ज्यादा है?
उससे थोड़ा ज्यादा है, काफी नहीं है. ऑलमोस्ट 10% अराउंड है, अदरवाइज वो पहुंच गया प्री कोविड.
मतलब जितना 2 साल में इन्फ्लेशन रहता है नॉर्मल, उसी के बराबर ऊपर गया है, ज्यादा बहुत ज्यादा ऊपर नहीं.
ऑलमोस्ट.
अच्छा, अच्छा। सर, एक क्वेश्चन ये भी था कि आपने ग्रोथ बहुत अच्छी दिखाई है, वॉल्यूम ग्रोथ, तो इसको क्या आप थोड़ा सा ब्रेक कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि आप नए ज्योग्राफीज भी ऐड कर रहे हैं, तो आपकी जो मैच्योर मार्केट है, खासकर गुजरात और महाराष्ट्र, तो गुजरात में 30-35% मार्केट शेयर भी हो गया आपका, ये कितना ग्रो कर रहा है सर? इसमें इंडिविजुअल डिस्ट्रिक्ट अगर देखें, या जैसे मान लीजिए अहमदाबाद का शेयर पकड़ लिया या बॉम्बे का शेयर पकड़ लिया, ये आपके लिए कितना ग्रो कर रहे हैं जो आपके पुराने मार्केट्स थे?
एक्चुअली एग्जिस्टिंग जो स्टेट्स है वो भी ज्यादा अच्छे से ग्रो कर रहे हैं बिकॉज ऑफ द प्रोडक्ट एक्सेप्टेंस एंड जो मेहनत इतने सालों से नेटवर्क में की हुई है उसका रिजल्ट अभी उभर के बाहर आ रहा है. तो डेफिनेटली जो एग्जिस्टिंग मैच्योर स्टेट्स है वहाँ पे हमको एक अच्छा रिस्पॉन्स, अच्छा ग्रोथ मिल रहा है. एंड स्टिल जो हमारे अदर स्टेट्स है जहाँ पे हमारा पूरा फोकस है, जहाँ पे हम ज्यादा डेवलपमेंट करना चाहते हैं, उसमें भी प्रोडक्ट की एक्सेप्टेबिलिटी आने लगी है. सो ये सब का जो निचोड़ है वो हमको आशा है कि आगे 2-3 साल में बहुत अच्छे से बाहर आएगा उसका रिजल्ट.
और सर गुजरात और महाराष्ट्र जो पुराने स्टेट्स हैं आपके, यहाँ पर सर आप क्या रूरल एरियाज में और टियर 3 एंड टियर 4 सिटीज में आप अच्छे तरीके से आपकी प्रेजेंस है, या अभी वो बचा है आपके लिए वहां
नहीं,
पेनिट्रेट
ऑलरेडी
करना?
प्रेजेंस नहीं, ऑलरेडी प्रेजेंस है। गुजरात के पूरे टियर 2, टियर 3, टियर 4 सभी विलेजेस वगैरह में हमारी ऑलरेडी प्रेजेंस है।
और सब महाराष्ट्र में?
महाराष्ट्र में भी पहले से। महाराष्ट्र में अगर देखने चाहे तो मैं जस्ट आपको ब्रीफ दूं तो सतारा, सांगली, कोल्हापुर, लातूर, सोलापुर, नांदेड़, ये सभी जगह पे हमारी आई थिंक मोर देन 4-5 ईयर से प्रेजेंट है, और
लेकिन पूरा
अच्छा अभी
विदर्भ,
काम
और
होता है।
बिकॉज महाराष्ट्र बहुत बड़ा स्टेट है, तो विदर्भ विदर्भ सब जगह आपकी प्रेजेंस है?
या अकोला, अमरावती, ऑल द विदर्भ, नागपुर, जलगांव, धुलिया, एवरीवेयर वी आर।
उत्कर्ष जी, एक रिक्वेस्ट थी आपसे आपसे और विनय जी से कि एफएमसीजी कंपनियां, खासकर जो छोटी एफएमसीजी कंपनीज हैं, वो एक इंट्रोड्यूस कर एक चीज बताती है कि कितने पिन कोड्स को वो सर्व कर रहे हैं। तो अगर आपके पास भी वो कोई डेटा हो जो आप शेयर कर सके, आपका पिन कोड वाइज ग्रोथ कितना हो रहा है क्वार्टर आफ्टर क्वार्टर आफ्टर क्वार्टर, वो जरा इंटरेस्टिंग रहेगा देखना कि आपका डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन नेटवर्क कैसे बढ़ रहा है सर। अगर वो पॉसिबल हो आपके लिए सर शेयर करना, तो प्लीज प्रेजेंटेशन में जरूर से शेयर करिएगा आगे से सर। सर
विल
एक
ट्राई फॉर दैट।
थैंक यू सर। सर एक फाइनल क्वेश्चन ये मार्जिन्स को लेके ही था। आपने 30-31% मार्जिन्स रिपोर्ट किए हैं, अभी आप बोल रहे हैं कि आप डीलर कमीशंस बढ़ा रहे हैं, आप और पिडिलाइट दोनों। तो गोइंग फॉरवर्ड आपने जो गाइडेंस दी है क्वेश्चन के आंसर में, आपने बोला 23, आई थिंक 22-23% या 23-24%। जी, सो अगर 23% अगर पकड़े तो ये आपके हिस्टोरिकल मार्जिन से ज्यादा है, लेकिन यहाँ से काफी कम है। तो ये क्या तुरंत अपने को ड्रॉप दिखेगा, या ये आप जस्ट बोल रहे हैं कि ये आपका कंफर्ट लेवल है, सस्टेनेबल लॉन्ग टर्म ये है, लेकिन अभी कैन वी सी दिस 30% फॉर सम मोर टाइम, या लेट्स से 27%? एलिवेटेड लेवल्स कब तक चलेंगे सर आपके हिसाब से?
सही फॉर द Q4, एज आई ऑलरेडी एक्सप्लेन कि वहां पे पूरा माइग्रेशन की वजह से कम रिडम्पशंस आया, उसकी वजह से वो रेशियो आपको ज्यादा दिख रहा है। बट इफ मोटा मोटी मैं आपको बताऊं तो वी आर वेरी कंफर्टेबल विद दिस 22 to 23% ऑफ एबिटा मार्जिन, राइट?
अच्छा।
बिकॉज आई डोंट वांट टू, जैसा मैंने आपको बताया कि स्ट्रेटेजी के रिगार्डिंग में 25 से ऊपर एबिटा मार्जिन की ग्रिड की वजह से मैं कहीं कोई टॉप लाइन में कॉम्प्रोमाइज नहीं करना चाहता, जहाँ पे कोई कस्टमर्स का मार्केट शेयर्स अपने से माइनस में हो। सो वो स्ट्रेटेजी कभी नहीं रहेगी कंपनी की, वो मैं क्लेरिफाई आपको करता हूँ।
और फिर 23 के
एंड आई
नीचे भी आप मार्जिन नहीं जाने देंगे फिर?
नहीं, ऑफ कोर्स नहीं
मार्जिन,
जाने देगी।
ओके ओके ओके। सर आपके फाइनेंशियल एडवाइजर से या विनय भाई से एक क्वेश्चन था कि ये जो रिडेम्पशन वाले जो एडजस्टमेंट्स हैं, ये क्या ये इंड एस की वजह से हो रहा है? ये पहले, क्योंकि पुरानी एनुअल रिपोर्ट्स में देखा जाए तो ये ऐसे तरीके के एडजस्टमेंट्स नहीं थे। कैन यू क्लैरिफाई कि दिस इज कंप्लीटली बिकॉज ऑफ इंड एस? ये जो इवन Q4 में भी आप लोग ने अभी बोला कि रिडेम्पशंस कम हुए थे मार्च में, तो एडिशन टू टॉप लाइन कम हुआ है, उसकी वजह से ग्रोथ आर्टिफिशियली कम लग रही है, एंड अदर एक्सपेंसेस में भी। सो प्रॉफिट न्यूट्रलिटी वाला पॉइंट में समझा, बट दिस इज इंड एस या दिस इज समथिंग एल्स?
I will answer this to Agastya sir. This is basically because of the Ind AS application only. Because Ind AS provides that first you identify your gross turnover, which is the value of invoices for the period, and then you reduce it with the value of the promotional schemes that you are providing for the period. And
Right.
at the same time, whatever redemptions against the schemes that you got in that period, you need to add it back to the turnover.
Right. At the time of redemption.
Yes. So basically the concept is that the price that you are charging from customer consists of two things. First is the product that you are selling, as well as the promotional schemes which you are giving to them. So the revenue or the turnover of the promotional scheme will be counted in your turnover only in the period of redemptions.
Okay.
So time being, in the year of giving, you reduce it, and once the customer actually redeems it and you give it to customer, then you consider it as your turnover. So that's what exactly the requirement of Ind AS is that, and all the industry players are also following this in FMCG market.
Okay. So for you, it is a very high number because of the growth, because you're growing faster than the, not only in the category but also in the FMCG market. Is that why, is that the reason why this number is so like pronounced?
Yes, that is one reason, and another reason is that there may be some difference in the figures of the promotional schemes for the period and the figures that we got for the redemption for the period.
Right, right.
The other thing is,
Utkarsh ji,
Agastya, this number looks bigger because our turnover was smaller, right?
Right.
But if you notice
Right.
in the last 2-3 years, this number on
Right.
an absolute basis has only gone down, right?
Yeah,
This has
constant
been
or down. Correct.
constant or down, right? So
Constant or down.
one part is that our revenue has grown and we have not allowed this number to balloon, which is a clear indication of accelerated redemption that we have taken up with our dealers and carpenters.
Right.
So we will ensure that this number doesn't balloon and doesn't go up and doesn't trouble our balance sheet and does not give
Right.
any shocks to shareholders.
Right. And this is completely PAT neutral.
Yes.
Great,
Yeah.
great. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, Utkarsh ji. Utkarsh ji, just वो पिन कोड वाला देखिएगा अगर आप ऐड करवा सके इन्वेस्टर रिलेशंस में, और वो एरर वाला जो मनोज जी ने बोला था, I also second that point. But looks like very good quarter, sir, and all the best, sir. All the best for the coming quarter, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Agastya. We'll take the next question from Umesh Gupta.
Yeah, hi. My question was actually on this promotional scheme was only, but what I want to understand, while you said that it is PAT neutral, but what delta does it have on margins? So is it around 10% on EBITDA margins on an average? And that is why your margins were so high in this quarter, and which is why probably you believe that the long-term margins from the business are only about 22-23%. Because how does the accounting work? So you sell about 100 rupees goods of worth, and then you account only for 90 rupees. So that much of delta is there in terms of margins?
So yes, so the guidance that we're giving 23 to 24% is adjusted for this. Assuming that this does not have to play, we'll be looking at 23 to 24% EBITDA margins.
But then it would fluctuate on quarterly basis, right? Depending on the redemption and depending on the sales, because if you have high sales growth, then you would continue to accumulate higher points.
Our effort is to ensure that it stays neutral in terms of any impact on sales.
Okay. And secondly, you mentioned that you had an 8% volume growth in Q4 versus Q3, while your top line were same. And while one point is about this point thing, but on overall realization, were they flat on Q-on-Q basis, or were they down on a Q-on-Q basis?
Q-on-Q was flat.
So despite the fall, almost about 40-50% fall in raw material prices, because if you look at the VAM prices on a YOY basis, I think they're down by more than 50%. There was no impact on realization.
That's correct. But the fall in raw material prices, if you assume the packaging cost, etc., on an annualized basis, is not that high. On a year-on-year basis, it would be around, just give me a second. Would be around 30%.
30% you're saying overall all costs down, but VAM alone would have been down more than 50%.
VAM from its peak is down more than 50%. But then VAM has other things like packaging cost, etc. involved. And then there are other raw material also that get used. So if you just look at overall raw material per kg, that is down 30% YOY.
Okay. Okay. So,
but on an absolute basis, VAM from its peak is down 50%.
Okay, so going forward, to understand your guidance a little bit clearly, the 25% CAGR guidance that you've given for the next 3 years, and since the realizations are flat, so despite these pluses and minuses from this point redemption, your top line, at least in sales terms, should grow at 25%. Because why I'm asking is that despite in the last quarter 8% of volume growth, your top line did not grow. So when you are giving a 25% CAGR guidance, will it translate into a 25% sales revenue guidance also, or you are right now only talking about in terms of volumes?
Either ways would be similar almost.
It would be similar, but it wasn't similar in the last quarter. So this is why I was just trying to clarify this.
See, what happens is, so I'll just give you this figure if Utkarshji allows me. Can I share the net redemption impact on revenue in Q4?
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
No worries.
So the net redemption impact on revenue in Q4 was 5 crores.
5 crores.
Yeah. So which means the actual gross sales, if I don't take the impact of redemption in Q4, was 70.5 crores.
Okay.
Okay.
And when you say you have a 31% of liabilities on the balance sheet, so these are based on last year revenue number, which was about 245 crore.
No, 31% going forward is what we have indicated. Currently, it is 83 crores on 260 crores.
Yeah, so which is mota 30%, right? Or slightly more than 30%. You're saying
It's
80
around that
crore on a
number
turnover
only.
of 260 crore.
Yeah, 32%. 83 odd crores is what it is currently on 260 crores. So that's the number we are talking about, what it is presently. And our aim is to bring it down to 25%.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Umesh. Mustafa, you have a follow-up question?
Yes, sure. सर कुछ लास्ट में कुछ क्वालिटेटिव कमेंट्स चाहिए था आपके आपका बिजनेस मतलब मार्केट में मैंने देखा है कारपेंटर्स कॉलोनी के अंदर आपके प्रोडक्ट्स लगभग टियर 2 सिटीज के अंदर एकदम मक्खन की तरह बिकते हैं कई बार फेविकॉल और उनके भी आगे पड़े रहते हैं और वो चीज बिक्री रहती है सो आई जस्ट वांटेड टू अंडरस्टैंड लाइक क्या आप सही कर रहे हो कि मतलब जिसमें ये आपका प्रोडक्ट सही है या फिर आप प्राइसिंग पे खेल रहे हो फिर मैं आपका बिजनेस मतलब ऐसे समझना चाह रहा हूँ कि क्या आपकी मतलब राइट टू विन है जो इस कैटेगरी में आप लीड कर रहे हो और आप ये ग्रोथ दिखा पा रहे हो और सेकंड क्वेश्चन इससे टाइड है वो ये है कि आप देख रहे हैं कि कई दूसरे जो बिल्डिंग मटेरियल कंपनीज है चाहे वो एस्ट्रल हो गया है फिर कुछ ऐसे बड़े नाम हो गए वो भी अभी एडवर्सिस में एंटर कर रहे हैं राइट क्योंकि शायद पता नहीं वो भी उन्हें एक अच्छी कैटेगरी लग सकती है फिर हो सकता है इसमें ग्रोथ है बट हाउ डू यू सी लाइक कॉम्पिटिटिव वाइज कि आप इनके साथ compete कर पाएंगे क्योंकि आई सी नॉट जस्ट एस्ट्रल अ लॉट ऑफ डिफरेंट ब्रांड्स लाइक जो स्टील में है या फिर एशियन पेंट्स हो गया फिर जो भी है वो भी धीरे धीरे एडवर्सिस में टारगेट कर रहे हैं या फिर एंटर कर रहे हैं और उनके प्रोडक्ट्स आ रहे हैं मार्केट में सो हाउ वेल डू यू थिंक दैट यू कैन compete with them और क्या राइट टू विन आपका प्रोडक्ट में जस्ट ये अंडरस्टैंडिंग चाहिए सर
Sure. See, I already told earlier, मैं दो चीजें में बहुत ज्यादा विश्वास रखता हूँ एक फोकस एंड सेकंड इज द स्ट्रेटेजीज राइट तो जहाँ पे अब क्वालिटी और सर्विस की जो हम बात कर रहे हैं वहाँ पे हमारा एक गोल है कि हम कस्टमर्स और जो रिटेलर्स अपने जो है कस्टमर्स मतलब बोथ कारपेंटर्स एंड द रिटेलर्स जहाँ पे हम हमारी जो ट्रांसपेरेंट पॉलिसीज है हमारे जो कमिटमेंट्स है वो हम टाइम से पहले पूरे करते हैं द मेन थिंग्स वो है एंड अबाउट द क्वालिटी वी हैव ऑलवेज एट पार टेक्नोलॉजीज विद द क्वालिटीज जहाँ पे एंड यूजर्स जो हमारी प्रोडक्ट्स है उनकी जो कैटेगरीज है जहाँ पे उनके जो प्रॉब्लम्स है उसको सॉल्यूशंस के वाइज हमारे पास प्रोडक्ट रेंज है जैसे अभी मानो के मॉनसून सीजन है तो वी हैव द वाटर प्रूफ adhesives, we have the fast drying formulations, weather proof formulations. तो ये सब चीजें हैं और दिस इज ऑल अबाउट द all the efforts together.
So are you saying that मतलब कि आप कुछ ऐसे प्रोडक्ट सेगमेंट्स में हो जिसमें कॉम्पिटिटर नहीं है कि मतलब ऐसे कुछ कैटेगरीज है स्पेसिफिक जिसमें वो नहीं है लेकिन आप हो और आप केटर कर रहे हो उस नीड को इसीलिए आप वो ग्रोथ दिखा पा रहे हो लाइक ये आप वन रीजन पॉइंट आउट कर रहे हो okay got it
this is the one reason point out we have some products that are premium categories products we have ultra fine products उनका रिस्पांस बहुत अच्छा है सभी स्टेट्स में जहाँ पे वो प्रोडक्ट कंपटीशन के पास नहीं है वो टेक्नोलॉजीज अभी उनके पास नहीं है सेकंड थिंग जैसे मैंने आपको बताया कि जो चैनल पार्टनर्स है जहाँ पे हमारी जो चैनल्स है रिटेलर्स हो गए कारपेंटर्स हो गए so we are very good with this redemptions program we are very good with these services what we are offering we are very committed to that so this is all about that we believe the customer first our customer फर्स्ट रखने के लिए मुझे एम्प्लॉय फर्स्ट होना पड़ेगा। तो यहाँ पे हमारे जो टीम है, हमारी जो एम्प्लॉइज है, दैट आर वेरी आवर स्ट्रेंथ, एंड वी आर वेरी फोकस विथ दैट सेगमेंट ऑल्सो। So these are the reasons. And रही बात आप जो कंपटीशन की बात करेंगे, जहाँ पे ऑलरेडी कंस्ट्रक्शन मटेरियल्स की जो कंपनीज है, Astral you are talking about, or Asian Paints, they are coming with this white glue adhesives. So they came with I think in 2015-16 around. Asian Paints came with their products in 2016. So it is already 6 years past, and they have not penetrated so much what Euro has established as a bottom level. Otherwise, I think they are good with primary sales only, not the repeat sales.
एंड सर इंडस्ट्री लेवल पे भी आपको ग्रोथ दिखती है? मतलब आपने जो 5000 करोड़ मार्केट कैप बोला कि ये इतना बड़ा मार्केट है, ये किस मतलब कैसी ग्रोथ दिखा रहा है इंडस्ट्री वाइज, अगर आपके पास कोई नंबर हो तो?
एग्जैक्ट करेक्ट नंबर तो नहीं है, बट एज यू कैन सी इंडिया में एक माइग्रेशन फेज पूरे 10-15 साल से आया है, जहाँ पे पूरे विलेजेस से लेके लोग सिटीज की तरफ पे आ रहे हैं, और इतने सारे फ्लैट्स, रेसिडेंशियल्स एंड कमर्शियल्स, यू नो। सो अभी तो जर्नी बहुत बाकी है, जहाँ पे अभी 80% पॉपुलेशन जो है इंडिया में, वो अभी स्टिल विलेजेस में है। दे आर मूविंग टू सिटीज। सो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर के लेवल पे मुझे तो आगे के 20 साल जो है वो जर्नी मुझे बहुत अभी बड़ी और लंबी लग रही है।
ओके, थैंक यू सर, ग्रेट टू हियर दैट, ऑल द बेस्ट फॉर द फ्यूचर।
थैंक यू।
Thanks, Mustafa. We'll take the next question from Chetan. Chetan, you can unmute and ask your question.
Thanks, Vinay. Thanks for the opportunity. Thank you, Mr. Utkarsh. So I think I come to back to that point of margins. Just want to clarify one thing with you, Mr. Utkarsh. So when you said that you are happy with the 23% margin, should I read it as a statement of imminence that it is going to come down to 23, or are you just saying that if the situation comes where you need to trade-off margins for growth, you would rather go down to up to 23%, but still grow at your 30, 35% or 25% your target growth rates? How should I interpret that?
So Chetan, one thing, if you take that 5 crore impact that I just spoke about,
okay,
right? If you were to add that to other expense, your EBITDA margin for this quarter would have been 23.
Hello, Vinay. I think we lost you. Mr. Utkarsh, are you able to hear him?
Yes, I'm able to. Yeah.
Vinay, I think I lost you completely. Sorry, Vinay.
Okay. I was saying the 5 crore, the negative 5 crore impact that we spoke about. If you were to add that to other expenses, your EBITDA margin would actually come to around 23.5%.
Okay. So I thought that this was an impact on your top line, right?
No, see, what happens is when it is a redemption, so let's say there was short redemption by 5 crores. If that 5 crores would have come in additionally, it would have allowed my revenue to remain where it is, right? Which is 70.5 crores. And that 5 crores would have also gone to my expenses.
Right.
So effective margin would have been around 23.5%. The real margin, okay, which currently looks inflated at 30.8%.
Okay.
And even after 30.8%, if you see, the full year margin is at around 23%, which is what we are guiding, that we'll be in that 23 to 24% range in terms of EBITDA margins.
Okay. No, I did the math and I found that it would be slightly higher. See, your revenue would have gone to 70, correct?
Yeah.
And your expenses would have gone to around 50. So the effective EBITDA margin would have come to around 28.5, what I see. Because expenses were at 45 to 50, 65 to 70.
And your full year average would have been 22.7%.
Okay, so you're saying that the average is what needs to be. So now if I look at a quarterly perspective, my question basically is this 28. I understand Mr. Utkarsh's position that he wants to target revenue growth and doesn't mind margins going down to 23%. That's how I interpret his statement. Is that a correct way to do it, Vinay? My point is, if there is no situation where there is a price correct.
I think it is the correct way, because you know, to retain the customer is more important. if the
Okay.
competition is there, and it should be transparent also, what I believe, not for the competition also. See what Pidilite has taken the step, it is necessary, because right now the raw materials are down, and already the price are high. So it is transparent way, and it is the cultural way that generosity के साथ में भी आपको वो पास करना चाहिए to trust
Right.
the to gain the trust for the customers. So it is there. अगर मैं तो ऐसा मानता हूँ Pidilite नहीं करती तो भी हम करते हैं.
Okay, so this has already happened, is what you're saying.
Yes,
You have
it is
already passed
started.
on. It has started.
It
Okay,
is
okay. So,
started,
but
yeah.
it has not yet reached to the point where we need to look at it go to 23%, right? The truth may be somewhere in between for this year.
Probably,
Okay.
yes.
Oh, okay, understood. Understood. So thank you, Mr. Utkarsh. Thank you, Vinay. So nice.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Chetan.
Chetan. Anybody else who wishes to ask a question? So since there are no further questions, we have a follow-up question from Agastya.
Thank you very much. Just in time. उत्कर्ष जी, जरा कॉम्पिटिटिव सिनेरियो समझना था. पिडिलाइट और आप, पिडिलाइट के सामने कोई और दिखता नहीं है, फिर आप आ जाते हैं. आपके नीचे जो मार्केट है, आप दोनों को अगर हटा दिया तो कितना मार्केट डिवाइडेड है, कितना फ्रेगमेंटेड है, कौन कौन लोग हैं, और कोई बहुत ही रीजनल प्लेयर्स होते हैं क्या इसमें? अनऑर्गेनाइज सेक्टर रहता है क्या इसमें सर?
अनऑर्गेनाइज सेक्टर रिटेल में नहीं है, एंड इसलिए आपको नहीं दिखा है. और एज अ यूरो जो हम 13 स्टेट्स और इतने रिटेलर्स, इतने कारपेंटर्स में हमने जो रीच की है वो नहीं की है अदर अनऑर्गेनाइज रीजनल प्लेयर्स ने. हाँ, कुछ कुछ रीजनल प्लेयर्स है जो पर्टिकुलर state या particular cities में, but that are not unorganized, that are unorganized, not because you know it is a brand level trust जो create करना है आज carpenters का, it's not an easy process to gain that.
तो उत्कर्ष एक बात बताइए, जब आपका ब्रांड इतना अच्छा है, आपका प्रोडक्ट बिक रहा है, जो एक पार्टिसिपेंट ने अभी एक ऑब्जर्वेशन दिया था कि आपका कुछ भी हो जाए, आपका सेल्स बहुत स्ट्रांग रहता है ऑन द ग्राउंड. दैट आई हैव आल्सो ऑब्जर्व. जहां जहां आई यूज जहां जहां आई सीन, चाहे गुजरात में हो चाहे महाराष्ट्र में, 2 स्टेट्स में तो मैंने देखा है आपका सेल्स बहुत तगड़ा रहता है. तो किसी ने कभी ये नहीं सोचा कि अगर किसी को ये मार्केट में आना ही है तो आप ही को टेक ओवर कर ले? आपका ब्रांड भी एस्टेब्लिश है, प्रोडक्ट भी अच्छा है, एंड एटलीस्ट जिन स्टेट्स में आप एक्टिव हैं उन स्टेट्स में आपका लॉजिस्टिक्स, आपका डीलर नेटवर्क भी अच्छा है. तो आप आर यू लाइक विलिंग टू लेट्स से स्ट्रेटेजिक इन्वेस्टमेंट बाय सम कंपटीटर इन यू, या a full sell through? What is the promoter family ka thought here? If Asian Paints comes to you, are you willing to sell the business to them? Yeah, if they come with a strategic stake offer, what will you do?
I think as a promoter, I should think about the growth perspective only. Do they have that type of network or not? That should be the most priority things. Because आज company grow होना चाहिए, आज Euro brand grow होना चाहिए, right? Right now we have enough confidence on me and my team also that we'll definitely reach 500 crore of top line. आगे जाके जहाँ पे हमको कोई ऐसा growth लेना होगा जहाँ पे we need a professional CEO or any strategic partner, we'll definitely think about that after 500 crore of top line.
अच्छा, okay, makes
जहाँ
sense.
पे फाइनेंस ग्रोथ मिले उससे ज्यादा बेटर है कि नेटवर्क ग्रोथ मिलना चाहिए, नेटवर्क बढ़ना चाहिए. तो अगर स्ट्रेटेजिक पार्टनर्स की सोच हम करें तो वो बेहतर होगा कंपनी के लिए.
और उत्कर्ष जी, किस पॉइंट पे आके आप सोचेंगे कि अच्छा मेरा डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन इतना अच्छा हो गया कि मैं कुछ रिलेटेड प्रोडक्ट लाइंस में भी देखूं, कुछ और भी ऐड करूं अपने पूरे पोर्टफोलियो में, बिल्डिंग मटेरियल एट लार्ज को देखूं मैं, वो कब आप सोचेंगे? अभी मुझे मालूम है अभी बहुत जल्दी है, लेकिन कब सोचेंगे सर आप?
इसी ये हमारी स्ट्रेंथ है जो मैंने किया है बात फोकस के रिगार्डिंग. दिस इज सर्विस बेस्ड प्रोडक्ट रेदर देन द क्वालिटी बेस्ड प्रोडक्ट, राइट? सर्विस बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. आज एज एन एग्जांपल आप देखेंगे तो जगुआर, सेरा, ये सेगमेंट में ये लोग किंग है. sanitaries or plumbers, right? So it's not an easy for the any other companies to penetrate and replace that brand. So same like us, जो आपने जैसे बताया ग्राउंड लेवल पे आप देखे हैं कि जहाँ पे हमने एक यूरो का बेस जो बनाया है वो काफी स्ट्रांग है, सेल वाइज अच्छा है, डीलर्स को जो हमारे मैच्योर स्टेट्स है वहाँ पे डीलर को भी उतनी मेहनत नहीं करनी पड़ती हमारी प्रोडक्ट आगे पुश करने के लिए, वो सामने से डिमांड है और सामने से यूरो फैन कारपेंटर से जो यूज करता है. So I think जहाँ पे at least 30-35% market shares नहीं आते, I don't think that I have to think about any other products for that. I
और सर आपका
think
डीलर
उससे कंपनी को काफी नुकसान हो सकता है कि पूरी टीम का जो फोकस है, मेरा फोकस है वो डाइवर्सिफाई हो जाएगा. That is
अच्छा
more risky.
और सर एक फाइनल क्वेश्चन ये था, ये जो कॉम्पिटिटिव इंटेंसिटी है, आपने कहा कॉल के स्टार्टिंग में कि आप कभी आपका कस्टमर आप लूज नहीं किया है आपने, तो आपके डीलर नेटवर्क में चर्न कैसा रहता है सर? कुछ डीलर क्या आपको छोड़ के जाते हैं या उसमें भी बिकॉज आपका ग्रोथ इतना अच्छा है उनका भी उनको ग्रोथ दिखता होगा, तो कभी
हमारा
आपको वो सब प्रॉब्लम हुई है अभी?
हमारा रिटेनिंग रेशियो एम्प्लॉई, डीलर्स, मतलब कस्टमर्स एंड एंड यूजर्स तीनों में बहुत अच्छा है.
वो आप डिस्क्लोज कर सकते हैं सर?
सॉरी,
वो रेशियो डिस्क्लोज कर सकते हैं सर कि आपका स्पेशली डीलर में आपका रिटेंशन रेशियो क्या है सर? अगर आप डिस्क्लोज कर सकते हैं सर तो.
परसेंटेज रेशियो आई डोंट हैव राइट नाउ.
बट इट इज नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम ना सर, ऐसा नहीं कि आपका डीलर आपको सडनली कहीं किसी एरिया में आप अपना डीलर लूज कर रहे हैं, ऐसा आपको हेडेक नहीं रहता, राइट सर, कि कोई कंपटीटर आपको डीलर उठे?
नहीं, वो उससे तो वो अपॉर्चुनिटी है. व्हाट आई बिलीव दैट इज अपॉर्चुनिटी. आज अगर कोई रिटेन नहीं करना है, सो वो आपको सिग्नल दे रहा है कि नाउ यू नीड टू इम्प्रूव फॉर दैट. सो आई टेक इट इज अ पॉजिटिव वे. हम जो भी रिटेलर्स है उसका डेटा निकाल के वी अप्रोच इन अनदर वे कि कहाँ पे हम उनके प्रॉब्लम के सॉल्यूशन को नहीं समझ पाए और कहाँ पे हमारी टीम खरी नहीं उतरी. तो वी डेफिनेटली लुक पॉजिटिव फॉर दैट पार्ट्स एंड ट्राइंग टू इम्प्रूव दैट पार्ट्स.
थैंक यू उत्कर्ष जी. उत्कर्ष जी, जस्ट एक फाइनल रिक्वेस्ट सर, मैंने बहुत सारी रिक्वेस्ट कर दी आज. एक फाइनल रिक्वेस्ट सर, कॉन कॉल सर थोड़ा सा हर क्वार्टर के बाद रखिए तो सर अच्छा रहता है. आपसे इंटरेक्शन के बाद सर आपकी थॉट प्रोसेस समझ में आती है, कंपनी का फंक्शन भी समझ में आता है कि अंदर क्या चल, नंबर से ज्यादा बेटर अंडरस्टैंडिंग आती है सर. तो अगर आपका ये इंटरेक्शन रहे सर, तो कुछ एडिशनल चीजें, क्वालिटेटिव चीजें समझ में आती है कि आप क्या सोच रहे हैं. जैसे ये मार्जिन वाला जो आज डिस्कशन हुआ है,
नहीं, आई आल्सो वांट
मार्जिन
टू
आया है.
इंटरेक्ट विद यू ऑल पीपल बिकॉज बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिलता है, जानने को मिलता है. सो आई डेफिनेटली ट्राई फॉर द एवरी क्वार्टर कॉन कॉल.
राइट सर, सर प्लीज डू सर. आपका थोड़ा सा टाइम लग जाएगा, लेकिन सर ये जो जैसे आज मार्जिन का डिस्कशन हुआ, इससे बहुत क्लैरिटी आई कि आपका फोकस क्या है. एडजस्टेड मार्जिन का मैंने भी कैलकुलेशन नहीं किया था जब तक आप लोगों ने नहीं बताया, एंड उसके बाद ये कि आपका ग्रोथ और मार्जिन का क्या आपका नजरिया है वो भी समझने को मिला. वो नहीं समझ में को आता जस्ट पीएनएल देखकर. तो इट वाज वेरी
हमारा
नाइस
गोल
सर.
ऐसा
एंड
है जैसे जी के हम बैलेंस शीट ही ऐसे वे में आगे जाके लेके जाए कि जिसकी वजह से एक पूरा ट्रांसपेरेंसी इन्वेस्टर को मिले एंड ही कैन इजीली
बैलेंस
अंडरस्टैंड
शीट
द
तो
बिजनेस.
काफी इस साल कैश एक्रूवल बहुत अच्छा हुआ है, ऑपरेशनल कैश फ्लो काफी अच्छा हुआ है, तो वो तो डेफिनेटली देयर इज एन इंप्रूवमेंट लास्ट ईयर के कंपैरिजन में, स्पेशली इन कोविड ईयर. आई अंडरस्टैंड कि देयर वाज अ नेगेटिव कैश फ्लो, वो दैट इज अंडरस्टैंडेबल, सब कुछ ऊपर चले गया था. दिस ईयर देयर इज डेफिनेट इंप्रूवमेंट इन बैलेंस शीट, सो ग्रेट वर्क सर. आई होप FY24 में यू मीट ऑल योर टारगेट्स सर. ऑल द बेस्ट सर. थैंक यू. आई एम डन सर.
थैंक यू.
विनय भाई, थैंक यू.
Thanks. We'll take a question from Saket Saraugi. He's not able to use the option of raise hand. Saket.
Thank you, sir. First of all, congrats for such a good results and the performance the company has been delivering for last 10 years. I'm a lucky shareholder to be invested in the company for last 10 years actually. From 2013, I'm invested and somehow I have reaped the benefit. Actually, I had a question regarding the buyer scheme that company had mentioned in the presentation. Like you mentioned that the percentage as a percent of revenue, it has come down to some 30%. So what is this? Can you explain this? Like what percentage should actually come back to the ideal level? Because from long time we see in the balance sheet some financial liabilities a big figure is standing. So can you explain this? What is this, and at what percent of the revenue it should actually come down to?
So like we said in the initial comments, we aim to bring this to 25% of revenues.
These are actually I was late in joining the call. If you could just brief me regarding this, it will be helpful if possible.
You want to understand how this works?
Yeah, if possible.
Okay. So basically, when you do 100 rupees of sales, and let's say there are 10 rupees of points created, 90 rupees is what goes to your revenue, right? Now, assuming that a carpenter would redeem 5 rupees from past points that he's carrying, that 5 rupees get added to your revenue. So your 90 becomes 95. And that 5 rupees goes to your other expenses or sales and promotion expenses. So your effective revenue then becomes 95. Right? Now, this provision typically, when it gets created, has to be taken to your balance sheet and then removed from there as and when it is redeemed. And this is required as per Ind AS. Right? So this provision used to be approximately 90% of revenues, is now down to 31-32% of revenues. And we wish to keep it there or lower on an absolute basis. So effectively, it will come down to 25% of revenues as we move forward.
Was there any particular reason for this being so high initially, 90%, as you told?
One of the reasons was that it used to get accumulated over a period of 5 to 7 years. We've now started accelerated redemption on that. So we try to ensure that it is redeemed within 3 years.
Because once not redeemed in 3 years, it lapses?
No, it will not lapse. It will be auto-redeemed.
Okay. And
Utkarsh
also
ji,
one
am
more
I
question.
correct?
Yeah. Okay.
See, Mr. Saket, sorry, Vinayji, I just want to clarify one thing to Mr. Saket. See, we don't want to give any signal to our carpenters that the company is not so transparent or not supportive. So we have not give them any line to redeem, right? कोई deadline हमने नहीं दी है, जहाँ पे हमने उनको एक कंफर्टेबिलिटी ली. आज जो रिडम्पशंस हमारे जो लॉयल्टी प्रोग्राम्स थे वो बहुत कम्पिटिटिव होने चाहिए, अट्रैक्टिव होने चाहिए. तो ये बेस के ऊपर हमने जो हमारे हायर स्लैब्स है, जो कारपेंटर्स पे कॉन्फिडेंस प्रोडक्ट पे आ गया है, तो वो कारपेंटर्स कई बार 1 साल 2 साल 3 साल तक वो पॉइंट्स जमा करते हैं पूरे हायर स्लैब में जाने के लिए, जहाँ पे उनको कॉन्फिडेंस है कि हाँ मेरा रिडम्पशन आराम से कंपनी से आ जाएगा एंड आई एम वेरी कंफर्टेबल विद कंपनी ब्रांड एंड ट्रस्ट. सो वहां पे हमने वो अप्रोच पहले नहीं किया था, इसलिए रिडम्पशंस जो कम आ रहे थे और वो ज्यादा बढ़ गया था प्रोविजंस. बट राइट नाउ वी हैव इंट्रोड्यूस्ड द प्रोग्राम फॉर द ऑटो रिडम्पशंस. वी हैव द टीम ऑफ पीपल who are managing these things and to motivate the carpenters to take the redemption with slabs and things. So it will be a neutral positions we are trying to manage. So फिर वो आगे जाके इफेक्ट टॉप लाइन में नहीं आएगा इसकी वजह से.
So the program that we run, that kind of similar program would be run by competitors also. Like it's a standard industry process, I think so.
It's not standard industry process, we can say. The program, loyalty programs run by so many companies, not only adhesives, FMCGs products or that. But the thing, how you are maintaining these and what you are service you are giving, the implementations of the program is very important. So we differentiate ourselves in that particularly, rather than the other competitors.
Like from last quite some time, since the company has been giving the presentation, so you mentioned that you have 3 lakh carpenters enrolled for this program. So, but I have not seen the number growing. So is there any particular reason for that?
No, we are totally associated with the 3 lakh carpenters, thoroughly this 12 states. But what we are trying that more and more carpenters join our loyalty programs and at least scan the points. So the scan points means use our products. So it's not like that we are not growing in that, but also as you know that we have not started new states. Whenever we'll start new states, definitely more carpenters will join us that programs. So right now we are focusing with the productivity of that existing program, जहाँ पे हमारे पास already registrations हो चुका है, प्लेटफॉर्म पे लोग आ गए तो वो ज्यादा से ज्यादा हमारी प्रोडक्ट यूज करे, ज्यादा से ज्यादा पॉइंट स्कैन करें. वी आर मोर फोकसिंग ऑन दैट पार्ट.
And sir, regarding the debtors, what kind of percentage is the desirable level of debtors we should be looking forward? Like as of now, the percentage of debtor is quite high. It has reduced from earlier times, but what is a desirable level of debtor day the company is looking at?
I think our current levels is what we would be able to maintain.
Okay. Okay.
And just one point I would like to clarify that I was just saying before, the provisions or the liabilities for expenses that have accumulated have gone down as a percentage of sales, but doesn't mean that there is no fresh accumulation and accelerated redemption happening. So both of them are happening. We've been able to keep it in control.
Okay. Thank you so much and best of luck for the future, sir.
Thank you.
We'll take the last question for the day from Nesar Parekh. Nesar.
Yeah, thanks. Just a follow-up. I want to understand from a product perspective, right? Whatever is our equivalent of Fevicol, what percentage is that, and what percentages are some kind of special application products or things like that.
We have some hire some technologies for the. We have two products. That one is ultra 5-in-1, that is weatherproof, waterproof categories. So that category differentiates us from the Pidilite. And one fast drying product is also there.
Right. I want to understand if you could tell us what percentage of revenue it is. Like what percentage of revenue would be your your regular base products, and what percentage of revenue would be some of these specialty or special purpose?
Answer this question. Sorry, Nasarji, with the details, because maybe it is a competitive information sometimes.
Okay, got it. And lastly, just in terms of your distribution, right? Do you send everything to end retailers? That's how you sell, or do you have certain percentage you sell directly to some builders, directly to some large distributors or stockists?
Retailers only.
It's all 100% retailers.
Retailers, we have industrial product also. We introduced it before 1 year, but that is hardly 2% of revenue. So it is 98%, we can say, for the retailer. So we want to focus more into retail segment only.
Got it. And last, are there any new products or new segments that you're planning to target? So, Pidilite has some of these stationary consumer facing ranges, and they're also trying to do some specialty or value add products. So are there newer segments, newer products that you're planning?
No, as of now, as I mentioned, that still so many percentage of market share is still remaining to achieve with this existing network what we have established. So we want to focus more on that only.
Okay, understood. Got it. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nisa. So before we end this call, would you like to give some closing comments in terms of what are you seeing for the next 3-5 years?
I think I already explained this all the questions. What our vision is that, and if you want to clarify more, Vinay, you can go ahead for that.
No, sir, I'm perfectly fine.
All right, keep invested.
Thank you so much to all the participants for joining on this call, and thank you to the management for giving us their time. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.